Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Cody Vondell, and I'm back today with another episode of Fix Your Design. I take your submissions from my Discord server, I touch them up on screen, and if you have something you'd like to be featured in an upcoming video, just hop on my server and post your work in the Fix My Design channel. Before we get started, I just gotta say thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing my videos. It means so much that the work that I do helps you out with your design process. If you'd like to support my channel, please hop on my Etsy where you can find merchandise and a variety of graphic design templates that will speed up your workflow. You can also access my digital design library, project files for all of my tutorials, and more over on my Patreon. Let's take a moment really quick to shout out all of my patrons. Thank you all for making my videos possible. And if you like my intro, outro, and background music, please stream it or check it out wherever you find your music. Today's submissions are from Coach 7, Uplink, and Zyquan O. Let's hop on screen and get started. All right, so we're gonna start out here with Moto Boys. There's a lot going on there, so we are going to focus a little bit more on the text and make the rings and vector stuff just a little bit smaller. So go ahead and get Moto Boys there. I really like this, the contour font right here. It's a free font, so we're gonna use that. I like the kerning to be almost, I like all these letters touching specifically on this font. I think it looks great. So adjusting the kerning a tiny bit, we're going to turn to outlines, and yeah. Let's go ahead and pick out a few little icons out of my master kit that you can have access to. It's on my Patreon for our top tier supporters, so go over there and check that out. I appreciate your support. So we have two layers here. We have our front layer, just white text. Our back layer is that same pretty much text, just with a thick black stroke on, so we get this nice kind of signature Y2K look. Filling in those spaces right there, and boom, already looking cool. You got the ring behind it. Don't necessarily need the ring behind it though. I think it might look a little bit cooler with something like this. Let's just adjust it a little bit, maybe not quite like that, but something like that. Maybe we could add some type of little, sparkles, shines. So let's hop back over here into this Y2K icons part of the kit and drop these in. I think something like that is totally going to work. It's very much like what they had sent over and are submitted in the first place. It's just a little bit tighter, a little bit more focus on the text Moto Boys instead of the vector icons, but all the vector icons are really helping it kind of stand out there. So let's go ahead and play with a similar kind of color scheme. I think maybe that's too many colors for me, so we'll take out the green and just play with the reds and the blues. And we'll get all this, the white text on its own layer over here. And we'll start adjusting using the eye candy exposure software. We did a whole video on this a while back, so this is a really fun thing that we can use over and over and over and always have all kinds of cool effects. Let me make sure I get that little piece there. So we just, kind of go through all these presets and just find something that works. I think dusk works. That looks cool. And this front layer, we can play around with some stuff. We may or may not use it. Let's fill this space back in. I accidentally deleted that. So there we go. Filled right back in. Looks great. Cool. We don't necessarily need that. Let's see what all we could do. We could kind of play around with the color or maybe the bevel and emboss a little bit on there. It feels unnecessary though. Let's just not even worry about that. Let's play around with the gradient map on this kind of chrome. Like I said, we're gonna focus on the blue and the red and not so much on the green that they had on their gradient map. That just felt like too many colors for me, but I think something like this ought to look cool. I think two colors in like a white to kind of separate them makes things look chromatic and still really cool. You're not getting too overboard with the number of colors. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and add a color halftone. Maybe we'll set it to like max radius of 5, 65%. Those details are looking great. I think that was looking good. On to the next. All right, so Sequence 2000. This one's really inspiring. I was having a really fun time with this one. Already got a few little ideas set up, but we're gonna really kind of play around with all kinds of different ways that we could take this and just have a fun time with it. I think ultimately we're gonna go for sort of a t-shirt graphic or maybe a website layout kind of thing. That's kind of the way I'm seeing it. But right now we're just gonna play around with all the text and take ideas from their concept, but kind of make something our own with it. So yeah, I'm feeling the Sequence 2000. It's a little bit abstract, but I like it. There was a client project I worked on maybe 2 or 3 years ago where a lot of focus on ocean waves and stuff. So I have some stuff from concepts that we didn't end up using that I can kind of use here. So I'm going to be doing that a little bit, just playing around with you know, some wave icons and stuff like that. And yeah, right now we're just having fun, kind of just figuring things out. I know I wanted to have the right font. Earlier I was kind of looking around at that Space Lab 2020 Beastie Boys Hello Nasty kind of looking font, that 70s feel. I don't think that's the way I'm going to take it though. It would be a cool way, but I don't think that's it. This little icon, just another piece from that client project I was talking about earlier. So, you know, we're just adjusting some things. We may or may not use this, but just having it here, having stuff that we can use always is very helpful. So yeah, that's there. I'm not really sure if it's actually going to affect this this piece in any way. I don't think that's actually going to work with these letter forms. So now we're just kind of playing around with the way that we'll handle these words and the shapes and the sizes and all that kind of stuff. Make sure things are accurately placed and sized and all that kind of stuff. So I think as far as the sequence 2000 goes right there, I think I like that. Let's add the experience, the ocean at home. That's kind of inspired by some text from their piece. Theirs was a little bit longer. I like my taglines to be just a little bit smaller. So experience the ocean at home. That pretty much gets the message across without being too wordy. So playing around with that. It also feels like it might just not fit. I like the idea, but might just not fit into this overall piece. We're having fun with it. We'll see what works. Maybe we can turn on the outlines and see if we can curve some of those edges. I just don't think that's actually working. So I've selected this stock background. It's kind of a pool water kind of look, and the blue with this yellow I think is going to look really cool. We just got to play around a little bit more with the wording here. So I think maybe we can turn on the shear at 20% and make these just a little bit smaller. Something like that actually looks pretty cool. Like the wave on here, I think that's working for me. And we'll pull something like this that sort of maybe has a nautical feel. And we'll bring it down here and just squeeze it in, and something about that is working for me. It just sort of has a nautical feel to me. I don't know, something about that. It's futuristic, and I think that's the way we're gonna work. So let's go ahead and cut those little circles out, ovals, and yeah, let's get that cool color going. We'll copy this layer and get kind of a blue going on the background. So there's sort of just kind of helps ease the blue background and that yellow text, having that kind of blue text, blue icon vector shape back there. So that works. Let's see what else we can use. I think maybe we can just take a couple of pieces from our metal heart kit and kind of drop it into this layout, and it should have a kind of cool feel. Let's just, you know, play around with the idea and see how it turns out. So I think that is what we are going to do here. So let's drop these pieces in, scale them up a little bit, turn on that color overlay, make sure it's that same yellow, scale it back down just a tiny bit. This is actually looking pretty cool. Let's grab these chevrons and see what all we can do with that. Drop them down here maybe, turn on our color overlay, drag them over here. Something like that's working. We may or may not keep that. It might feel a little bit too big. I think we're going for smaller details, but we'll leave that there for now and grab some of these pieces, scale them up just a little bit. It feels pretty comfy. Maybe we can drag these down over here on this side. Yeah, I think that's balancing itself out and looking pretty cool. What else could we use? This little graph, just drop it in right here, get it feeling nice and cool. Over here in the corner maybe, turn on that color overlay. Boom, baby, yeah, that's feeling nice. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. And then we'll grab these little you know, square modules here, whatever you want to call them, and just turn on that color overlay, make them a little bit smaller. Boom. This is a fun layout already, looking cool. What else can we drop in? Maybe some of these up here underneath those little bits and pieces. Yeah, this is looking cool. I'm feeling this one. So let's grab all these, copy them, merge them, and let's turn on our noise at 100%, and let's turn it down to maybe 20%. Then we'll grab all these, clone them, copy them, merge them again, and let's turn on our gradient map and play around with the blues and the yellows. Maybe we'll add in some white there to kind of separate them. Very similar to the, you know, the reds and the blues on the Moto Boys Chrome. Having that white in there just kind of helps separate the two colors so they don't, you know, they mix well, but, you know, having a little bit of something else in there as well. So I'm feeling the way this is looking, and I think we're going to use this gradient map as a blend mode. So this ended up looking a little bit different after we turned it on. So we'll play with the hue and saturation, kind of turn it up just a tiny bit. That looks cool. Check out these details a little bit. Yeah, let's play around with the different blend modes. So just gonna come through here and look through all of them and see what works for us. I think pin light is working for me. Cool, let's check out those details. That looks great. All right, and last one, we are looking at a bunch of infinity icons, some streetwear kind of stuff. Instead of playing with Y2K font for this one, I'm gonna go with something Arial font that feels a little bit more metal heart. And there are a few different ways that we can take this. One thing I wanna do is we've adjusted and turned the font to outlines, and I wanna grab this little point on the F and bring it down here so that it touches that part of the eye. So we're just gonna grab that and adjust that. Boom, that's looking great. And one other thing that we can do is I would like to kind of fill in this little space here and the T and the Y. And we'll just kind of adjust this just a little bit. It's being difficult, being a real pain. That's it right there, perfect, cool. So I think that is looking nice. Everything's grouped together. Let's go ahead and pull one of these stars from the Y2K icons template. We can make it a little smaller. We'll turn on the stroke up here on the font, and got 2 layers. And our third layer is the icon. So this is sort of in the same, you know, lane as the submissions. Sort of feels like, you know, a streetwear logo kind of thing, Y2K font. Well, I guess instead of using the Y2K font, we're using a more standard font with the Y2K treatment. And I think it looks kind of cool. There are different ways that I think the star here it works well with the way the font works. Turned over sideways, I kind of like that too. That could work. I think one thing I would like to do is take the word infinity and play around with the metal heart treatment. So let's do that really quick. So let's go ahead and start grabbing some pieces from the metal heart kit. This is actually the master kit that you can access on my Patreon, where it has all of my different kits all in one Illustrator file. So I created it for myself and figured, oh, this would be something really cool for everybody who is supporting the channel to have. So it's there if you're a top tier patron. Check that out. I hope it comes in handy for you, as it's coming super handy for me. So yeah, right now we're just playing around with a bunch of little icons and pieces and stuff, making it all a lot smaller. Let's make these things bigger really quick, but let's actually turn on our scale, strokes, and effects so that we get all that. You know, we'll turn that back off. I don't always like that on, but sometimes you gotta have it on. So yeah, just getting things feeling right, looking cool. Metal heart treatment. I don't know what we're gonna do with this arrow. We may or may not actually end up keeping the arrow, but these little pieces I know for sure we're gonna keep. I want to turn them sideways and make them a little bit smaller. I'm feeling nice and comfortable in here. We'll put that arrow up there for now. Maybe we can grab some of these little squares. Maybe it's these squares that we need. Yeah, those are the ones. So yeah, we're gonna grab these, drop them up here, flip this around. Cool. We're really starting to come together now. I think if we bring these squares up here, now that's really starting, the way that's stacking up, I'm feeling it. Let's copy that and change this out. I think they were feeling like this is like a clothing brand kind of thing, established 2004 works, and we can just kind of turn, yeah, just use something like this. That works for me. And we'll just drop this right down here. This is really starting to stack up and look cool. So what else can we use? I like this little kind of gradient. Yeah, definitely gonna use this. So let's copy this, and I like what I was working with there, but let's just kind of adjust, you know, we keep everything live, kind of playing with some different aspects, different arrangements. Something like this might actually work beautifully. So I think I want to keep them square, so maybe we'll just make them smaller. Make them about the same size as the 2004, and yeah, that's actually turned out really nice. So I think what we'll do is we'll create a little Photoshop document and drop this in there and put a cool little background in it. Cool, yeah, let's do that. So we have a metal heart shape that I made in, I believe it was Best Y2K Fonts, episode 10. So if you want to see how I made that, check it out. Right now we're just gonna, reuse this little metal heart piece, but we're going to adjust some things on it, make it look cool. One thing we can do is kind of add this noise, and we can merge that. And after that, let's use our filter gallery and use our diffuse glow. I think that gives it a really kind of fun. I mean, it works well with that metal heart aesthetic. I think it works well. So something like that. We're just gonna adjust the way this thing works. We might try a different layout. The way that this is sort of a video thumbnail, maybe we could try out a poster or something like that. So let's just change these out. It's like 1920 by 1080. Let's try 1080 by 1920. So something like that might turn out looking pretty cool. We're gonna scale these down a little bit. And actually that does look pretty nice as this kind of like more of a concert poster, flyer kind of look. That is working for me. That actually looks nice. Looks cool, like in totally, no color as well. But I think I like having that kind of purplish tint to it. So we'll keep that. And the more I'm looking at it, I think maybe we can add a little bit of a gradient or like a noise to the text as well. Change it back to 1920 by 1080, give the video thumbnail look, and adjust that shape in the background. I think that's looking nice. Check out those details. So that wraps up today's episode. Another fun session playing with the other creatives on my Discord server. If you have a design you'd like to see me tinker with on screen in an upcoming video, like I said, hop on the Discord server and post your work in the Fix My Design channel. Before you go, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. I have a ton of fun content planned that you don't want to miss out on. Thank you again to all my patrons for making my videos possible. I can't wait to talk to all of you over on my Discord server, and I will catch you in my next video. Thank you all.